that is one hell of a last 12 hours we've been through. I don't know if you've experienced the highs and lows that I have. Probably if you've got any significant money in crypto, you have. Anyways, welcome back. This is Craig. Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank the 818 subscribers I have so far for the brand new channel. Thank you very much. The goal is to get to 1,000 where I'll do my first live feed where we can do questions. But couldn't have picked a worse time to start a brand new channel. I know some of you who are subscribers are from my sailing channel. And in case you don't know this, I started this channel because I'm really into stocks and crypto and things. And occasionally that topic would sneak into my sailing channel. And some people would be like, oh, I tune in for sailing, not for financial advice or whatever. I got it. So I started this channel, less than a month ago now? And yeah, it's been, started off good. Maybe the first week or two. I mean, I'd had a previous history of doing really well in crypto and like to talk about crypto. And let's face it, if you're like me, you don't have a lot of friends that really know a lot about crypto, so you don't get to talk about it as much as you'd like to. And when you do find somebody who's interested, you could talk all night about it. But anyways, I thought this would be a good opportunity to start this channel. And again, for the first maybe week and a bit, things were just trucking along to the upside, and I was just like, yep, bull market. And then, the last 12 hours happened. But you know what the funny thing is? The last 12 hours went from, oh, it's not so bad, to, oh my God, it's bad, to maybe it's not so bad. So if you watched the last episode, I said there was a 200-day moving average that was around 39,000, and we were at like 42 and change. And I said, I got a funny feeling we got to go down and touch that 200-day moving average. I'll put the episode up in the corner here so you can go back and check it out if you want to, or maybe I'll throw a clip in it right now and you can see what I said. No, this is the daily chart on Bitcoin. And as you can see, we are right now at around 42,000. I would have thought that 44,000 was the base. I'm now altering it to be around 40,000. If we fall below 40,000, more exactly, if we fall below this 200-day moving average line here, then maybe this is the bull market starting, the bear market starting early. I just don't see it being possible. There's just too much interest in this bull market in cryptocurrencies, far more than 2017, far more than 2013. Anyways, as you can see, I was pretty sure that we would stop around 40 to 39. The 39,005 was the 200-day moving average. I knew that round numbers tend to be an area that things stop, but I thought at least the wick would go down and touch the 200-day average of 39. That was my thought. Probably won't go much below 39. And I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning or 1:30 in the morning. I was going to the washroom or something, and I checked my phone, like we all probably do. We got our phones charging next to our bed, and when I went back to bed, I just decided to click on CoinMarketCap, see my portfolio, and I was like, what? Wow, that doesn't seem right. And of course, that wakes you right up. So don't ever do that. Don't ever look at your crypto portfolio in the middle of the night if you want to keep sleeping. So I was like, that can't be right. So I went on YouTube and I found Cardano Dan had done a live episode, just finished like 1 something in the morning. So I hope for his sake he lives on the West Coast where it would have only been like, 11 at night. But it was definitely in the middle of the night. I think he actually does reference 1 in the morning. So he was so woken up by this sort of crash that he made an episode about it, but it got worse. So I'm watching these YouTube video in the middle of the night, and then then I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a day off for me. I'm on shift work. I don't work today, so I woke up at 8 and figuring out it can't be any worse than it was at 1:30 in the morning. Nope, it was worse. And then I thought, oh damn, okay, well I'm going to make an episode. And my original thumbnail. Let me show you what my original thumbnail was going to be. This was my original thumbnail. It still might end up being my original thumbnail, this thumbnail again, because the market has been going all over the map. So my first thought at 8 o'clock or 8:30 was it was bad. But then while I'm helping Janice make breakfast and we're doing our things, I look, it's 9 o'clock and the market has absolutely gone insane, just falling like a rock, which then this thumbnail seemed to be very apropos. But then if you look at the, let's just jump over here to the latest chart, and you can see this is on a 5-minute chart. This was what happened at 9:05 was the low. This is where I was like, oh damn, and I made that thumbnail with me freaking out. And now look, we've not only have we come back, we're right at that 39,000 that I said in yesterday's episode would kind of be the floor. I did say the wick would go below 39,000 just to scare people, but I didn't expect it to go all the way down to 29,963. That you would have, in a million years, if you'd asked me if that was going to happen overnight, I would have said no way. There's enough people that would be buying the dip before that it would never get that low. Now, granted, I think the whales have done this in the middle of the night on purpose. So this happened, overnight, started falling, and then people wake up in the morning. The stock market is also down, and I think there might be some correlation there that when the stock market's going to get pounded, a lot of wealthy people who maybe already have projects on the works, maybe they're getting a brand new mansion built for all I know, and they've got all this money set aside that they're earmarking from their stocks to pay for this, and they plan to HODL the cryptocurrency like we all plan to do, and then all of a sudden they wake up and their stocks are limit down, margin calls are coming, and they go, oh damn, I need to get some money from somewhere because I got this house construction on the go. And they go, well, what can I liquidate? Oh, crypto. And then they start liquidating, which causes margin calls in crypto, because a lot of people, I'm not one of them, hopefully you're not either, have like 10, 20, 50 times leverage on their crypto purchases, which is just insane to me on an asset class that's already super volatile. So don't do it. But that's what happens. Once it starts falling, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like that snowball rolling down the hill. A bunch of people sell, which brings the price down quickly, which means other people get margin called, which means they have to sell, which brings the price down quickly again. And then it's just this never repeating wash and repeat thing where the next person gets leverage called and the next person gets leverage called. And they're all forcing them to continue to sell into an already falling market. I think that's what happened. Eventually, we hit this floor under 30,000. And it's funny. I don't know if you're like me. Yesterday, there was a news article out of CNBC of all places. I never expect them to be knowledgeable at all in cryptocurrency. And Carter Worth or whatever, their technical analysis guy that comes on there, said yesterday he thought Bitcoin would get down to 30,000 before it bottomed out. And of course, we're at 42 or 43 at the time. And I'm like, what's this guy smoking? Come on, man. 30,000? And I'm like, never going to get that low. I don't see it getting that low. Unless we close below that 200-day moving average. And then kind of in my mind, maybe all bets are off. Maybe we do got to go to a lower level. And then I could go back on the chart and say 30,000 seemed reasonable, I guess. I mean, a worst case scenario reasonable. Never in my wildest dreams would I thought that at 8:30 in the morning we'd be at 38,000 and by 9:05 we'd be at 29,900. That wasn't even the realm of possibilities for me. Anyways, as you can see, we've come back and we keep doing little higher highs and higher highs and higher highs. And I wouldn't be surprised we end the day above 40,000. And that's super bullish. So let me show you the next thumbnail that I created. So we go from the, oh, damn, what's going on face to the, it's no problem. No problem at all. We're fine. We're fine. And I was, the funny thing is I don't want to sound like I've changed my tune. Because even when I was planning to do this thumbnail, my thought was, I'm sure we're not going to end at 29,000 today. It's going to bounce up a bit. I didn't expect it to bounce quite this much. But I'm like, the bull market's not over. If this is the end of the bull market, it is the shortest and weakest bull market in crypto history. And I just don't think that's possible. With all this more mass adoption, a lot of corporations have put crypto on their balance sheets. We're talking PayPal and Square and obviously MicroStrategies and even Elon and Tesla. He put out a tweet today saying that they still have diamond hands for their Bitcoin. All I say to you, Tesla, Elon, is come on, man. It's a little too late to be all bullish on Bitcoin. Just stick to a storyline. Either you hate it or you love it. Stop flip-flopping. Saying you're diamond handsing your Bitcoin after you were the one that sort of started the initial fall that created probably more leveraged people to have to sell and more leveraged people have to sell. Sorry, man, you're not out of the doghouse in my books, so it is what it is. But at least you know that he's not piling on by saying, oh, by the way, Tesla is going to liquidate their $1 billion worth of Bitcoin today on the worst day we've ever seen. I mean, this is the crash, hopefully, that we will only get once in this bull market. But let's go back to the bigger picture on Bitcoin. Okay, here's the bigger picture chart that we keep showing you, or I keep showing you time and time again. Just showing you the 2013, although the data isn't here. I have the data from another one. The 2013 bull market had a very similar rise in shape to the 2017 bull market. And here we are in the 2021 bull market. It's funny too, this channel that's already pre-drawn had this little cutout here. I always kind of wondered, that's a weird little cutout. There's not a cutout like that back here. And that was before we even got to this part. And it's kind of funny, if you look, the wick actually goes down into this little cutout. Kind of strange, isn't it, that it knew that was going to happen? But anyways, I still think we're going to end higher, of course, today, higher than the 29. So this wick's going to have this candle's going to have a really long wick below it, and that's bullish. We end near the top of the candlestick, that's bullish. And then we could be off to the races. And I think we're going to snap to the upside pretty violently. Just like we fell violently, we're probably going to come back up and we're going to fulfill this bull market. Again, if you look at the previous bull markets from low to high, and there was from the 2013 similar low to high. If this was it, this is the shortest bull market. If this was the top, this is the shortest bull market in crypto history. It just doesn't make sense too, as we talked about in the last episode, and go back and check that out if you didn't see it. But just to Cole's notes, every bull market has had this euphoric rise, almost a very steep pinnacle at the top. And then it's kind of like an escalator down after that. This has been a congestion area, except for this big drop at the end. It kind of threw us all for a loop. But as you can see, it's been mostly sideways, just chopping back and forth, up and down, up and down, up and down, sideways. That's not how a bull market ends. And also too, although this chart doesn't show it, if I go back to the regular Binance chart and go into the daily, you can see well, of course today with the big drop off, the volume's finally up. But if this was the top, these peaks here were the top, you don't get low volume at the top. There's always that euphoria where everybody's piling in. That's how a top is formed, that euphoria, and you'll see the volume. As we go up, you should see the volume getting bigger and bigger and bigger as there's that FOMO. Oh my God, I got to get in. That euphoria at the end where everybody's piling in and everybody's high-fiving each other at the bus stop or around the water cooler talking about how they've made so much money in crypto. That's the sign of the top. If you remember back to the 2000 stock market, I remember being at work and it was weird. You know, you're in the gym at work and you're thinking, every TV's on CNBC. Everybody was looking at their stocks. Everybody was talking about how they had JDS Uniphase and Nortel and a lot of these companies that don't even exist anymore after the dot-com crash, and how they'd made so much money, and people were already planning on how they're going to retire at 35 because they're going to be a multi-millionaire. You know, again, that's the sort of sentiment you're going to have when we get to the end of the crypto bull market. You're going to have everybody you know is going to be talking crypto, or at least a lot more people than are talking about it now. I mean, when you get outside of this YouTube kind of like bubble where people are talking crypto, if you go out talk to average Joe and Jane on the street about crypto, they either don't know anything about it or they only know a few names. Like they know Bitcoin and they might know Ethereum. But if you ask them about Solana or Polkadot or Cardano even, they're probably like, what? They don't even know that that's a cryptocurrency or a crypto asset. Anyways, when everybody's talking about it, when everybody's talking about what they own, then we're going to be near the end. That's the sign. And also too, that whole Time magazine, or, you know, when all the big magazines, the front cover is talking about cryptocurrency, that's the sign to get out. That, you know, that's the top. When normal publications like Time magazine or something else, Wall Street Journal or whatever, the front page is talking cryptocurrency, then you know we're at the euphoria stage. So all that to be said, I am not at all concerned. I mean, yes, I woke up to a nasty shock and my portfolio, like everybody else, is taking a beating. But it's not a loss unless you sell. So keep that in mind. If you aren't leveraged, which I don't think you should be, but if you aren't leveraged, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, 10 to 1. I mean, I don't even understand people going 10 to 1. It doesn't have to fall very far before you're liquidated and you have zero. So don't do that to yourself. It's like playing hot potato with a hand grenade. It's going to eventually go off if you keep playing with 10 times leverage. So it's a very, very bad idea. Again, all of this is in my opinion. I'm not your financial advisor. So, do your own research, talk to whatever financial planner you have before you do anything. Do not invest more than you can afford to lose. That's another thing too. Cryptocurrencies are still in the infancy. I equate this early stage of cryptocurrency like the Yukon gold rush, where everybody was getting on trains and horse-drawn wagons or whatever to get to the Yukon so they could stake their claims. Land was cheap. You just went to the registry office and you got your wooden pegs out and you said, this is my land. And they charge you some administrative fee to say that that was your stake and your claim. And then people made tons of money because the land was almost free. You could do it with your own, elbow grease and wheel power, get gold out of the ground. And there was just a lot of money to be made. Later, when cryptocurrency is mass adopted, there's going to be a lot harder time to make life-changing money. So right now, there's still that ability, in my opinion, to make life-changing money with relatively little investment. Just to throw some random numbers out there, I think if you had $50,000 or even better, $100,000 invested in cryptocurrency now, that down the road, you're going to have life-changing money. Maybe not at the end of this bull market, which I forecasted from back on this chart, is going to be sometime in the late fall. We're talking September at the earliest, October, November, maybe December. That's going to be probably around the time that this bull market should be topping out at much higher prices than there are now. At which case, I've talked about in a previous episode, what do you do when you hit a bear market? I'll put that episode link right here. But I'm telling you, when you start to get to that stage, pick your prime cryptocurrencies you want to hodl. But the ones you're not as sure in, maybe liquidate out, put yourself into some stable coins, take those stable coins and put them on, Binance or PancakeSwap or, any other of these DeFi sites and get some yield. Just to get your USDC or your US tethered coin that's tethered to the US dollar and go get your 8, 9, 10, 12, 15% interest. Quite easily that can be done. And then you're just biding your time, waiting for this part to happen, this bear market where it's just this never-ending stair step down. You're holding USDC or a tethered coin to the dollar and making your 15% interest while all this is happening to all the normal coins. There's always going to be exceptions. One that I think might be still going up during a bear market would be Cardano because they're going to have smart contracts and all that stuff on the go by the time we get to this. By the time we get to this in, let's say, September, they're going to have just started their full-fledged smart contracts and they're going to have a lot of new business. So there's a coin that maybe doesn't fall like the average coin. This is a chart of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin will probably fall because they don't have smart contracts or things to hold it up during a bear market. And most things fall with Bitcoin. But if you are in tethered coin, you're not really losing anything. In fact, you're making the interest. So you're actually getting your net worth or your portfolio value higher and higher and higher month after month while you're waiting for this to bottom out. And then you can plow back in to all those high beta cryptocurrencies and make an amazing rate of return on the next bull market. Those hundreds of percent, if not thousands of percent of rates of return in the 2025 bull market top will be out there. So we got some time, but that's my suggestion. We're not at the end of the bull market now, so don't panic out. It's not a loss unless you sell. HODL until we get through the end of into the fall, and then we'll have to reassess. Some people have suggested we're in a super cycle, which means because of the mass adoption and the corporations and whatnot that are now on board as opposed to 2013 and 2017, that we might go longer and higher and longer being in time. So instead of it ending in September, October, November, it might go all the way through to February or March of next year. That's possible. So that's why I say we can't count on anything right now. So we have to get there first and then start looking at the tea leaves, and the volume on the chart should be showing us that things are blow off top. And when we get to that stage, it'll be time to draw some out, and I'll subscribe to this channel and I'll be telling you when I think that time has come. So that's the conclusion. I think we're still in that bull market. I think nothing's changed. I think a lot of FUD has been put out by mass media. First, you had the Elon tweets that started the ball rolling, and then it seemed like Reuters put out a piece about how China had made the cryptocurrencies illegal, which, when you really analyze it, is not news. That's been their stance since 2013, that their citizens cannot buy or speculate in cryptocurrencies. That's not new. That's been going on for years and years and years. So for Reuters to come out with this article that says that China is banning cryptocurrencies as if it's new news, just piling on the FUD. We're already having all these pullbacks in the last little while. And then you got Reuters putting out things that scare people again. And, and then there was that news article about Binance is being investigated by the government. And then you find out, no, Binance is cooperating with the IRS. It's the IRS was just making sure that Binance is giving all their US citizens information to the IRS to make sure that they get their taxes. So Binance isn't being investigated. It's Binance is being requested by the IRS to cooperate, and Binance.us is cooperating, according to what they've said. So that's not even a scary story. But of course, mass media is putting out all these FUD stories, this fear, uncertainty, and doubt stories, trying to push it down. And you might be wondering, like everybody, I'm wondering, I'm sure you're wondering, what's the motivation? Why are these mass media people putting out all these fear stories now, all of a sudden? My suggestion of why is, think about CNBC or any of the, Yahoo Finance or any of these places. They make their money from advertising. And who's advertising on their channel? Not Bitcoin, not cryptocurrencies, because they're decentralized. It's JP Morgan, all the massive, all the brick and mortar banks. And they're all worried that if cryptocurrencies take off and decentralized finance happens, people will be getting their life insurance through cryptocurrency sites. They'll be getting their loans through cryptocurrency sites. They'll be getting actual interest on their savings on cryptocurrency sites. That is going to take out the knees of the banking industry, because they make all their money off of just giving you next to no interest on your savings and loaning it out to people for new business loans or mortgages or whatever at 600, 1,000% above what they're paying you, and they make all that profit. So in a decentralized system, you can make all that money yourself. There's somebody out there who wants to borrow money to leverage on Bitcoin or whatever, they're going to pay you 9, 10% interest. And then, you make that money straight from them to you. And there's no bank in the middle taking their 80% cut. And that's what scares the brick and mortar financial institutions. So they're the advertisers on these sites. And they're the ones that are going to say, hey, you got to start putting some pressure on these cryptocurrencies because they're killing us here. And they go, oh, no worry. I've got my best journalist on it. And then they pull some old story about China outlawing cryptocurrencies out of the, dust it off, blow off the cobwebs, and reissue it as if it's a new story, which it wasn't. So things like that are going to continue to happen. So HODL, just hold on, and hold on for dear life is what that means if you aren't sure why it's called HODL. And just wait until this bull market has properly run its course, and then we can consider getting out into more conservative, tethered type coins. There you go. That's my suggestion to you. Again, not your financial advisor, so do your own research. I'm thinking of doing a beginner's guide to crypto, starting from how do you fund an account, what's the easiest way to fund an account, how do you set up your MetaMask wallet, how do you research what cryptocurrencies you shouldn't be investing in. You don't want to just the water cooler talk. Somebody tells you a coin, the Shiba Inu coin or some garbage coin like that, and you're like, oh, well, my friend at work said that's what he's buying and he's already made 30%, so I'm going to run out and buy that coin without knowing anything about it, and then later finding out it's just a meme coin that has absolutely no developer crew working on it, nothing in the works that's going to make the coin any better. It's really just the bigger fool theory of making money, where you buy it at a crazy, ridiculous price for something that has no fundamental value, and your hope is that you can sell it to somebody else for an even higher value. If that's the only reason you have a cryptocurrency, good luck to you. Because then if you're putting your money into those type of coins, you might as well be going to Las Vegas and putting money on the roulette table and spinning the wheel. Because yeah, sure, there's always going to be stories about how somebody turned $1,000 into $100,000 because they got lucky, timed it perfectly. But there's also going to be hundreds of stories when the portfolio goes from $100,000 back to $1,000 or to zero if you've been leveraging. So yeah, not a good idea. So do your proper research. That'll be another thing. How to get free research, how to get free charting with things like TradingView. These are things that I think a beginner would want to hear. So I'm thinking of making a whole slew of videos in the next week and creating a playlist, and I'll number them. And that way, when I'm on here and people have questions, I can just refer to, oh yeah, I cover that in Crypto for Beginners number 3 or Crypto for Beginners number 5. Like every topic will be a 5 or 6 minute video just talking about a very small component of what you need to know, so that it's easy to find the video that just answers that. Hopefully that's something you think you or someone would be interested in, because that's my plan. Put what you think in the comments down below. Again, at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see my Twitter. I just started it, so I have almost no followers. So I feel like I'm tweeting to an empty room at this point. So do me a solid, jump on there and add me to your Twitter. Also on there is my email. So again, always feel free to write your questions in the comments. I read them all. I get back to them as soon as I can. If you have a longer question that just feels weird to write, like a 3-paragraph question in the comments of a video, feel free to write me. I've already had a bunch of people take me up on this. Write me at investingwithcraig@gmail.com. I read them, of course, and now I have more room to respond. And it's not something that the whole world may need to read. And it's just between you and me. And we can create more of a community on here. That's what I want to do. And that's the reason I want to do a live video very soon. As soon as I get that number up to 800, well, from 818 up to 1,000. Once I'm above 1,000, that's my goal for where I'll have enough people who will probably watch it to make it worth it to do a live episode. So hopefully that's something you're looking forward to, so we can interact in real time and answer some questions in real time. Maybe even look at the charts and do some technical analysis in real time. All right, I think that summarizes all of what I wanted to say on this episode. Don't be afraid. Hold on. This is just a blip. One day we're going to look back at this moment and we're going to see it on the chart, and it's going to be a tiny blip on the chart we're barely going to even notice, and then we're going to say, that was an amazing time to get into crypto. So if you enjoyed this episode, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe, again, trying to get me to that 1,000. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification so you know the minute one of my new episodes comes out. And until next time, this is Craig wishing you happiness, health, and wealth in that order. Ciao for now.